transfer is available to the B, D, F, and M trains.
Hi everyone, today is October 24th, 2019, 4:25 p.m. Outside temperature is 66 degrees Fahrenheit, 19 degrees Celsius, and today I'll be taking a walk down 5th Avenue as well as doing my question and answer video. I know a lot of you have been asking for this for a long time, but it's finally here. I'm going to start with it once I get out of this subway station. This is the 5th Avenue station on the number 7 line. Getting out at 42nd Street and 5th Avenue, southwest corner. Right next to Bryant Park and the New York Public Library. Okay, there's a little bit of crowdiness over there because of the stroller. Alright, here I am on street level. And let's get this Q&A started. I'm going to load up my YouTube app and sort it by the top rated. See what comes up. Okay, first question is, I am dying to know your profession. You need not say your specific job. My picture of you in my imagination is that you're an architect, an engineer, or a lawyer. Well, my profession, I'm not really comfortable in stating what it is because there's a lot of people who will judge others based on what their perception of another person is. I like to keep a lot of my personal information private, but I am a YouTuber and I have other sources of income other than YouTube. I think that's enough to answer that question. Second question is, I want to know what's your full-time job and where do you live in New York? Kind of answered the first question already. As to where I live in Astoria, Queens. Do you ever see celebrities? Third question. Yes, I do see celebrities, but I'm not too big of a follower of pop culture. So many of them I don't recognize right away. Someone did point out in my video of the 8th Avenue Street Fair walk that I did recently that they saw Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah, I saw Gilbert Gottfried in 8th Avenue, like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, but I didn't know who he was at first, so. Yeah, he is. But the celebrities blend in very well with New York City, you don't know. Next question, how long have you lived in New York and how old are you? Another personal question that I don't want to answer, but for both of the answers, I'm going to say at least 20. Just due to the fact that many people will judge someone's experience or their mindset just based on someone's age, and I don't really like that. Maybe I'm an 100-year-old person trapped in a 20-year-old body. You may never know. Next question, what's your favorite thing about living in New York? Also, how do you find time to do all these walking tours all around the city? Love your videos that transport me back to such great times. My favorite thing about living in New York is there's always something to do. There's always action. There's always people around. That's what makes New York attractive. How do I find time to do these walking videos? A lot of times I just do these walks for fun. or if I need to be someplace anyway, I'll do these walks. So it saves me time in reducing them rather than going out of my way to make them. Next question. Hi, do you have family in New York? And what do you enjoy doing when you're not being AK, Action Kid? Yes, I do have family in New York. And what I enjoy doing when I'm not being Action Kid, well, to be honest, I do spend a lot of my time maintaining this YouTube channel between all the editing, the shooting, walking. But during my free time, I do like shopping, I like browsing the internet, I like watching other people's YouTube videos, particularly walking videos around the world. I try to draw inspiration from them, photography. I like reading up on current events. I like hiking, and I like not getting almost run over by this truck. But now this truck has no choice but to remain stuck in the intersection here. I'm not reading any questions until I safely cross the street. That's a bad idea to be staring at your phone at the same time as walking. Next question. Have you ever watched the Radio City Christmas Spectacular featuring the Rockettes? Yes, I have. It's an amazing show. I recommend everyone to watch it at least once. Next question. What's your favorite restaurant and place to shop in New York City? I don't have a favorite restaurant in New York. There's just so much good food here. Depends on what mood you want too. If you want inexpensive food, if you want fine dining, what kind of cuisine you want, there's everything there, and it's just very, very hard to pick something. It all depends on what it is in the moment. I have many favorite restaurants, and my favorite place to shop in New York City is B&H Photo and Video Store, located on 9th Avenue and 34th Street. Next question. What do I do for a living? I do safety and not getting killed for a living. But the way I'm going to answer this question is, I live my life as a positive human being and want to impact change and positivity. Next question. What is the average amount of steps and calories burned every time you go and do your walks? Well, I don't have a step counter. I don't keep track of my steps, as weird as that sounds. I just go out and enjoy it. Just walk and enjoy. I don't really care how many steps I do. If I get tired, I just step away. It also depends like how long the walk is. If it's going to be a walk of a few blocks, the steps are not going to be that much as if I'm going to be doing like a 1 hour video, right? Next question. Halloween is coming up, and I would like to suggest doing a video on spooky places in New York, like Old Peg Leg, Pete Stuyvesant haunting the Bowery. Yeah, good idea. Maybe I could get around to doing it before Halloween. I do have some Halloween type content that will be posted. I'm not sure if I'll post this Q&A before then, but we'll see. Next question is go live and pick a bench with good view and answer a few questions. Well, that's a big security risk for me. I don't want anyone to know where I am and like photobombing the channel. That's happened to some online personalities. That's not really a good thing. That's one of the main reasons why I don't feel like I'm ready for a live video, because of that security risk. But it is interesting. They also asked if I've ever been to Dead Horse Bay. Yes, I have. I always want to make a video of it, but it's just very far from where I live that it's hard to go there at the right time when it's convenient for me. Next questions, I should say. Number one, how do you know so much about the city, places you visit? Well, one, I've lived in New York my whole life. Sometimes I'll read up on it. I have friends in many neighborhoods, so I'll get some information from them. I'll read up on Wikipedia. I'm also a certified tour guide, so I study for the test, and I know a lot about the knowledge that way.
God said, come to
Number
me on
two,
the last
what
day.
was your scariest encounter ever? Details. Pretty much everything. Mostly my cycling videos where there's vehicles that pass me within like inches and almost hit me. Those can be pretty scary and nerve-wracking, although I've been kind of immune to that fact. Bourbon Street, New Orleans was a bad one. Another person threatened me at Jamaica Center. No, not Jamaica Center, Jamaica Station on the E, J, and Z train. That was recorded on video. Another time I was cycling over the Queensboro Bridge and two people approached me. They said they were police officers and they showed a ID. On second thought, I shouldn't have stopped in the middle of the bridge like that because it was very dark and I didn't know if they were real police officers or not. But they picked up my bag, they smelled it, and I guess they didn't smell what they wanted, or they wanted drugs, but I should have just rode to the end of the bridge where it was lit and well populated and then called the police myself to confirm if they were genuine. But yes, that would have been a very bad thing if I was there alone. 3, what do I do for a living? I already answered that. 4, do I have a GF? Maybe. It would be cool to see some night videos of NYC and early morning if possible. We posted a few early morning videos, but not many. Yeah, it's very hard to get up early in the morning. It's not easy for everyone. You have to be that kind of person, but I'll do something maybe in the future. Next question is, just wondering what prompted you to do your walking/cycling vlogs. I've lived much in Manhattan my whole life and learned so much about other boroughs through your videos. Always enjoyable and entertaining. Well, I have a natural love for this city, which I grew up in and enjoy, so it's only natural I vlog about it and go places. At first, my cycling videos were inspired because I got a camera for my safety in case something happened to me or somebody else. I would have video evidence of it for liability purposes. But I did post some videos online, some longer videos, and people watched them. So I was very inspired by that. I was like, wow, people are watching these. I should just continue posting them. And also I gained inspiration from the early ons of walking video channels, such as ⁴ from Japan. He was a very big inspiration for me to start a similar channel in New York doing walking videos. Next question is, what made you decide to start filming your videos? Same question. Next question, how old are you and your name? You look like you're in your 20s. I know you're a New York native, your accent is a dead giveaway. Plus, I want to meet you. I'm at least 20, and my name is Kenneth. And a meetup may be possible in the future, but like I said, with the safety concerns and security concerns, I've been threatened online, mainly in my cycling videos, saying they'll hit me or they put a stick in my spoke, so I'd rather not do that. Next question, are you a student? Maybe. Next question, where were you born? New York City. Do you get recognized as action kid while filming? What's your favorite non-tourist underground site or area to explore? Keep up the good work. You're very informative and interesting. Yes, I do get recognized as action kid when I'm filming. Most recently was on the Brooklyn Bridge when Riding with Job recognized me, as well as a random fan who I didn't know who he was. It didn't used to happen, but I guess I've been such an inspiration for people now that they do notice me. What's my favorite non-tourist underground site or area to explore? I like the northern areas of Central Park a lot. I like Inwood Hill Park. I like ⁴ Park. I like Upper Manhattan. Those are all sites that people don't visit at all. Next question. Do you ever fear for your safety as you're busy exploring and filming? Yes, I do. You can even hear it in my voice on some of my walks or during the early morning, especially if I haven't been to an area before. Next question. What kind of computer do you use to edit your 4K 60 frames per second videos? I use a custom computer I built myself. It's an AMD Ryzen 7 2700X with 32 gigs of DDR3 or DDR4 RAM, I forgot. NVIDIA GeForce 1080 Ti-X, I believe. I have the equipment in the video description below. And I also use multiple SSD solid-state drives to edit the videos. I also use Cyberlink Power Director 18 as my video editor of choice. I also have Adobe Premiere Creative Cloud if I ever need it. Next question. I know New York is amazing all year round, but which would be the best time of the year to visit New York? That just depends on you. For me, I like all the seasons. I like the winter time where it snows. I like the springtime when the flowers are coming. Next question. Do you like to fart? No. That's a strange question to ask. Next question. Are you going international to show us cities in the future? Possibility. Next question. Will you do walking through iconic places in Los Angeles in the future? I enjoy the New Orleans videos. Yeah, I may consider it. I'll have to see about visiting other cities in the future. My New Orleans videos, with the exception of Bourbon Street, didn't do too well. So I'm kind of getting a sense of what my audience wants, and there's a lot of traffic here. Just follow the crowd. Next question. Have you ever considered making 360 videos? I have already. In fact, I'm getting the GoPro Max and I plan to make more in the future. The reason why I didn't put up more is because the GoPro Fusion is just so hard to work with. You need two memory cards, you need to put them together, stitch them together, and it's just annoying. Hopefully the GoPro Max remedies the workflow a little bit. Next question. Do you live on Manhattan or other neighborhood? No, I don't live on Manhattan. Next question. Other than walking, what are some of your hobbies? Kind of answered that already. I like shopping. I like hanging out with my friends. I like eating different places. I like exploring different areas of the city or researching about topics I don't know too much about. I like watching other YouTubers. Next question. What got you into making your videos? I already answered that. Will there be any more cycling incidents soon? No, because lately cycling hasn't been a convenient part of my life. I just find it much easier to walk where I need to go. It isn't really good for my lifestyle right now for cycling, but I still do enjoy cycling. I do it on my free time, especially with friends and family. Have you ever considered a fan meetup and walking tour with a group? I've had, but like I said, the issues with security really bother me. I kind of prefer to keep a low profile. I mean, with enough people, the security issues won't be that bad, but we'll see. Next question. Have you ever thought about becoming a tourist or personal guide? Yes, I do have my tour guide license. I am thinking about offering tours in the future, but I still have to work out the details. Next question. When When does the term Big Apple originate? You know, I'm not really too sure of that. At first glance, you may think that Big Apple comes from the fruit because it's a very popular fruit grown in New York. It might even be the state fruit. But when I did research this, I don't think it had to do with that. It had to do something with like ticket sales or something like unrelated. But I don't really know what the origin of that word comes from either. How about a live Q&A? No, I'm doing a pre-recorded Q&A right now. Next question. What is your daily routine? Do you live alone? Who make up your family? My daily routine is to go out and shoot videos, put them up. Do I live alone? No. Who make up my family? I do have family in New York, as well as other parts of the United States. Next question. I agree with all the commenters below who are curious about personally your job, your family, what else do you like to do for sport or hobby. Also, we heard on News in California that Empire State Building added a unique elevator and remodeled observation deck. Will you have time to film that for us? Maybe if I get around to it. I mean, tickets for the Empire State Building are a little bit pricey. I don't like to do videos on YouTube unless I'm going to recuperate the cost for it. It doesn't really make sense from a business perspective. But maybe if I can get a discounted admission to Empire State Building, or know that I can get a sponsorship or something to send me up there, I'll be willing to do it. Next one, what is your favorite neighborhood? Midtown Manhattan and Times Square in particular. It's just so many people here and all the action and business activity is here. It defines New York. Next question, have you ever gotten in trouble / yelled at for filming? Well, not in trouble per se, but just being told to turn off my camera if I'm filming something like New York Transit Museum. They told me I couldn't record, or museums in general. Supermarkets, Trader Joe's, they won't let you film. The thing is, a lot of it has to do with private property. On a public sidewalk, it's much different. But yeah, there are things that you can and cannot film without a reasonable expectation of privacy on a public sidewalk. And I think I've been pretty reasonable up until this point. I wouldn't focus on like someone's naked body or zoom into like somebody's bathroom from the sidewalk. That's just a no-no. You know, most people would just say like, I don't want to be on camera, and I'll do my best to accommodate their requests if it's reasonable, but I can't do everybody. Next question, what is the cheapest neighborhood in NYC to rent a studio? That I'm not sure about. You have to like do your own research and look up online. In general, I know the further away you get from the city center, the cheaper it is and the more affordable it is. Next question, how crowded is the subway in winter as opposed to summer? Winter time, especially during the holidays, is very crowded. Mainly because a lot of people want to get out of the cold, and the subway is a warm place for that. But during January and February, there's a lot less people using the subway than compared to earlier on. Next question, you live in Queens. What's your favorite neighborhood? Midtown Manhattan, Times Square. I'm curious why you started this to begin with. I mean, walking the streets of Manhattan and talking about things is a really great idea, and I'm glad you're doing it. I just wonder how and why you started. Kind of answered that already. Next question, do you ever feel like I shouldn't be walking this area due to safety concerns? Yes, big time, but sometimes I've gotten too much into a video where I have no choice but to just finish it.
Well, so it makes sense now, like why she said that. Yeah.
Next question, do you know any single good-looking woman with a great job and no kids and no ex-husbands? No criminal record, great credit, must have her own base boat. Please show pictures of base boat. Thanks, AK. Yes, I do, but I don't know any who own their own base boat, whatever that means. Strange. I mean, you can just go on a website like Match.com or just come here to meet somebody. It's not that difficult. Next question, have you ever been injured while cycling? Yes, I have, but not recently. I've been fortunate enough to cycle safely enough to know not to get injured. If I do get injured, it's because of someone else's mistakes generally. Like getting doored, which generally doesn't happen too often, and if it does, then it's very minor because I anticipate it. Next question. Looks like everybody wants to know more about Kenneth, the man, the myth, the walking legend of New York City. Yeah, but there's a lot I don't feel comfortable about revealing about myself on the internet, just for everyone to know. It is good to be a little bit mysterious. Next question. I've noticed from window reflections how you carry your camera and walk these great distances with your arms locked in that position. Seems like your only breaks are to swap batteries. That's not true. Sometimes I do get something to eat, use the restroom, or I'll fade in a different scene. I really like the 4K videos and often have Google Maps open to match up where you are. As a reference, a 360 video will be great for us for VR to freely look around. Will be coming soon when I get my GoPro Max. Hopefully it's as good as they say. Thanks for the videos. I always been fascinated with NYC and watched several videos on its history before I found your channel. Well, thank you very much. No real question in there, but I am very grateful for your comments, and hopefully I'll be offering 360 videos in the future. And yeah, it doesn't get too tiring when I walk these great distances because the camera is so light. Someone's offering free toothbrushes in Flatiron District. See, you can find everything in New York here. All right. Can I do a special video on Andy Warhol in New York, the place he worked, lived, and other places of significance? I could, but I'll need to do some research on it. I don't really know too much about him. Next question. How do you find time to make all these vlogs in nowadays? Yeah, I kind of asked myself that question too. It does take a lot of time to shoot and produce these videos as well as edit them, that I oftentimes don't find enough personal time for myself, especially doing daily uploads like I've been doing recently. I don't promise anyone daily uploads, but I've been keeping it up for the past few months. But I do like to record video normally where I'll be going anyway. That'll save some time. I like to record about different events, and I'll try to change it up a little bit. But it always helps to have a fast computer and a good workflow and be organized. Okay, next question. Age, at least 20. Next question, what is your heritage? Is your lineage connected to 19th century Asian immigrants to New York? I'm Chinese American. And as far as they're connected to 19th century Asian immigrants to New York, yes. Next question, hi Action Kid, are you from Taiwan? Well, that depends if you're referring to the political entity of Taiwan, which was the Republic of China when they controlled the mainland. If you say it that way, then yes, I am from Taiwan. But if you're referring from the island where it currently is, but makes up most of its territory, then I'm not. My family history is not from the island, but they are from the mainland China. Next question. Yankees or Mets, Giants or Jets, Knicks or Nets, Rangers or Islanders? Keep up the outstanding work. It's much appreciated. None of them. I don't really care for sports. I find them interesting, but I don't really find them like entertaining for me. I'd rather just go out and create my own content rather than watch someone else play. But it is good to watch once in a while with friends, especially. I mean, by default, New Yorkers kind of associate their sports teams with whoever they're closest to or which borough they're from. Like Queens residents will generally prefer the Mets, I would say. Yeah, that's just kind of how it works. But yeah, I'm not into sports. Next question. How accepting are New Yorkers to Muslim women who choose to wear religious clothing such as niqab or hijab as a form of modesty? Very accepting. New York's one of the most accepting cities in the whole world. Next question. Are you trained in self-defense? What would you do if someone did jump out to steal from you or do you harm? Yes, I am trained in self-defense. If someone tried to deal me harm, I have to act appropriately. You have to deal with the situation, each individual situation as it is fit. One of my favorite channels on self-defense is Active Self-Protection. You can check out that channel, and it has a lot of practical situations that you can learn from. Next question. This one's way too long, so I'll just go right to the question. It says, I was wondering if you'd be interested in filming with narration beautiful architectural achievements from the past, including the inside of cathedrals. I have done that already, but I do plan to do more. It's hard to record inside private property as they have their own rules on what they can and they don't allow you to film and record, but I try. Next question. I'd like to know if it's safe to eat from street cart sellers of fast food. Yes, it is safe. The city does inspect them regularly, although I wouldn't recommend eating it all the time. What's your favorite borough and why? Manhattan, because that's just where the city life is, all the action, all the heartbeat of the city. It's where all the business activity and jobs are. Next question. How many times snow in NYC and when? Sorry, I'm not from US, so that's why my stupid question. It's not a stupid question, but in general, people think that it snows a lot in New York City. That kind of depends on the year. I mean, last season, there wasn't too much snow. It was only like 3 or 4 times of snow that were somewhat impactful. The year before that was a lot of snow, so it kind of really depends on what Mother Nature has in store. I do hope that it does snow in New York, just so I can get some good footage for you all. But yeah, it just depends. Next question is, I like your style in your narration videos. Your voice is calming. You really hold my attention. When you see and hear you, keep it up and be careful. Well, thank you very much. Next question, places to stay at that you've been to or recommend. Well, I always recommend everyone to come to Midtown Manhattan first. You could probably spend like an entire week here. There's just that much to see here between Times Square, Grand Central, Empire State Building, all the stores here. You can go shopping for a whole like week if you wanted to. Central Park, you can there's like over 50 streets block-wise you can explore in Central Park. And many people that will kind of ignore the northern portions of Central Park, which I find very tranquil and serene. You should definitely check it out. And also many people, they ignore the outer boroughs of New York City too. You should go and check out Queens, Staten Island, Brooklyn, and the Bronx. They have a lot of different stores there, different aspects of city life that you won't necessarily see when you're in Manhattan, where the everyday New Yorkers live. Next question. I too am curious about your occupation. I am also curious about your education. Did you go to college? Yes, I did. Where? I won't say. Next question. I'm in California, where we have easy access to large grocery stores. How do people that live in the city get their groceries, especially if they have to buy a large amount? Also, NYC's public transit looks amazing and very accessible. Is it not really necessary to have a car? Thank you and love your videos. Well, grocery shopping in New York City, there's multiple ways to do it. First way, just go with multiple people so you get all your groceries at once. Second one, you can get your groceries, call up a car service like Uber, and they'll take care of the groceries. Another option is to have this have the food delivered directly from the grocery store, or using a service like Amazon Fresh or Fresh Direct. The other way is to make multiple trips. And the other way is to buy groceries that will last a while instead of things that will spoil easily. Those are all ways on how people do groceries in New York City. And it isn't necessary to own a car in New York City, especially if you're in a neighborhood that is well served by public transportation. There are neighborhoods like southeastern Queens and Staten Island, which are very underserved by public transportation, which it may make more sense to own a car, but it all depends on the situation that you're in. New York City isn't just the areas around the subway and bus system too. Next question. Which NYC neighborhood borough has the best quality price ratio in regards to living expenses? That just depends on the person. Some people may find 57th Street, Billionaires Row to be very quality to price ratio. Some people may find the South Bronx. Some people may find Astoria. Some people may find Midtown Manhattan because it's right here and they don't need to travel. I mean, it all depends on you. Next question. What was the weirdest / unexpected reaction that you got from people while filming in New York City? I do get middle fingers sometimes, so that's very unexpected when that happens. I caught someone dancing on Stone Street to a random woman. I guess he was trying to impress. There's a weird moment in the street fair where there was some I would say like they were trying to perform a sexual act, but they still had their clothes on. It was kind of weird, yeah. There's also some things too where like someone would drop something like their phone or whatever, and I see someone pick it up for them. So those are the kinds of things that I see in New York that are kind of weird and unexpected. Next question. What is your nationality or your parents' nationality if you were born here? I'm Chinese American. Were you born in New York City? Yes. Being a first generation born in New York myself, I love how we have such diverse backgrounds in New York City. Yeah. I love New York City for that. Everyone's from all different cultures, religions, ethnicities, and the city's very accepting of that. Next question is, how do you know NYC in terms of areas, localities, spots, or famous location touristy spots, coffee shop, etc. latest stuff. I do watch a lot of other YouTubers. I'm generally interested in my city. I read up a lot on different areas, as well as travel on my own to places as well that I know are good. And I also have friends in other places in the city, so when I go visit them, I get to see what's in their neighborhood and what they recommend, and also suggestions from other people as well. Next question, what's your favorite podcast and book? I like the Bowery Boys, that's really cool. And as well as favorite book, I don't really have a favorite book. There's just so many that I like. I do like reading up on philosophy books. Those are one of my favorite books. But I've lately been reading up more on New York City history kind of stuff, as well as things to do. Next question, tell us about yourself. I kind of already did with all the questions from before. Next question, I thoroughly enjoy your intelligent comments and in-depth narration. Thank you for all your time you put in production. I lived in New York City during the 80s. I'm going to skip just to the question. They asked, would you please do a presentation on Madison Avenue and the World Trade Center area? I knew them well, and it would mean a lot to visit those locals with you. Thanks. I have done videos on Madison Avenue and the World Trade Center, but I don't think it was narrated though. I don't know what happened there. Did they bump into each other? I'll have to review the video from before. That's another unexpected thing that happens in New York. Seeing people bump into each other. Next question, I'm planning to move to NYC in a few years. Any advice? Best affordable neighborhoods for an apartment. Thank you, your videos help a lot. Well, that just depends on your lifestyle. What's affordable to you? In my practical guide to save money in New York City video, I said that in general practice, it's good not to spend more than 20% of your income on monthly rent. So that gives you a guideline on what to expect in New York City. If that means having to live with people or roommates, then that's what a lot of people do. As well as any advice, you just kind of get acclimated to the culture and the people here. So you just kind of have to experience it for yourself. But my advice to you before you settle down in a place is to at least go and visit it once. Don't just blindly go and move in. You have to experience and try like a week or 2 weeks here and see how that works for you. Next question, how do you plan your videos? Do you plan it the day before, or you do a whole week planning agenda on your visits? And how much time does it take you to make one full video? How did you start making your videos? Did it come with an idea, or is it your hobby? Well, I kind of plan my videos spontaneously. I do research on several topics, and some of them may take a little bit more time than others. Sometimes I plan it the day of, or if I'm going somewhere, I'll just combine it with another video if I'm going the same direction of a different spot. As well as how much time it takes me to make one full video. In Power Director, generally for 4K 60 frames per second video, the rendering time is twice the video length. So an hour video would take me 2 hours to render, but that doesn't include the time that it takes to upload to YouTube, and including the map, as well as adding the descriptions and the timestamps, replying to everyone's comments. That takes a lot of time. Okay, next question. What's your settings on your GoPro? Mostly automatic mode. During low light situations, I may bump up the ISO, or if I'm doing like a rain video where I'll do some color correction, then I'll record on flat, but most of the time it's on automatic, like it is right now. Next question, where do you live in New York, Astoria, Queens? Next question, are you going to make walking videos during Thanksgiving/Christmas holiday? Absolutely yes. And they also want to know my profession, if I'm married, in a relationship, and if I have kids. Will you do a video of where you live, like an apartment tour? No, I won't do that. That's a little bit too personal about myself, but that's all I'll reveal now. My daily life other than being action kid, I kind of really answered that already. Just gonna cross the street here, so I'll give you a change of scenery going into Washington Square Park here. Do you have any other job or just YouTube videos? I kind of answered that already. YouTube isn't my only source of income. Best hot dog place in New York City? Not really sure. Nathan's in Coney Island is really good. I mean, that's where hot dogs are famous from. But I do want to try this place called Criff Dogs from Sarah Funky. She recommended it in one of her videos, where you get like a free hot dog with a purchase of a beer or something like that, and it was very cheap. So that's pretty amazing. Next question is, I'd like to know a little bit about your biography, family, growing up, relationship status, education. Do you do anything besides YouTube? Age? You look very young. I think I'll skip over this question. I've already answered most of it. Can you consider video requests? Yes, I do all the time. I know a lot of people have been asking me to do the Joker stairs for a while, but that's a little bit out of the way for me. I will get around to it eventually. Next question is, how old are you and you're a full-time YouTuber? At least 20, and I do not do YouTube full-time. I have other sources of income. Next question is, government job for immigrant in New York City? Not too sure about that. You'll have to look that up yourself. Next question, where have you lived in NYC? And as others ask, what do you do for a living? Not being too specific if you don't feel for it. Thanks and regards. I won't answer the where I've lived in New York City video. I think that's a little bit too personal. But I have lived in Astoria for a long time. Next question is, I'd like to know if you have plans to do narrated walks in other cities more often. Yes, I do have plans. But for now, the New York City videos is my main focus, since that's what a lot of people enjoy. Next question is, what is my profile picture? Well, since this was asked a week ago before I changed it, this was of the Flushing Meadows Corona Park Unisphere. Now it's of, I guess, the Freedom Tower. Someone designed it for me, and I really like the way they did it. The next question is, I heard the city doesn't have self-parking garages. Is that true? I've never seen one here, so maybe it is true. Next question, what camera are you using? Great video quality. I mainly use the GoPro Hero 7 Black. I'm getting the GoPro Hero 8 soon, as well as the GoPro Max. I also sometimes shoot with a Panasonic G7, as well as my iPhone 8 Plus, which actually works great for video. Many people discount phone cameras, but they work excellent. You just got to know how to use it. Next question, would you ever do a walking video in downtown Los Angeles or a video in LA at all? Yes, I've considered it. I know it's a request from many people. I'll have to see about that. Next question is about AdSense on YouTube and how much the CTR of my account number and percentages. I think the last time I checked, the CPM for United States was $6.75, something like that. I don't really know too much about my AdSense because I can't really check it too well here. If you like to tell how much I win per month, well, on average, I usually get between like 800,000 views a month. That usually translates to around 3,000 to I think 5,500 was my last month in earnings per month from AdSense YouTube. It isn't enough to solely rely on New York City on your own, but it is very nice to have that income from YouTube. I don't believe YouTube earnings should be held private. People can figure it out anyway, just based on how fast your channel is growing. I mean, I haven't done any sponsored videos yet or brand videos, but that is something that I am looking to do in the future. Next question is, no, that's not a question. They're just thanking me for what I do. That's, thank you very much. Other than your GoPro on a stick, do you wear anything that identifies who you are, self-advertising? No, I don't. People just know it's me from my voice, I guess, and the way I conduct myself. What made me decide to do these walking videos? I already answered that. Do I have GoPro? Yes. Make a video about Flushing and Queens, Roosevelt Avenue. I have a very important person living there, a Chinese girl. I've done Roosevelt Avenue plenty of times, as well as Flushing. I guess I can do it again. I frequently visit places I've filmed before because New York's always changing. Next question, have I ever said anything or done anything in my videos that I was sorry for later and had to edit? Yes, all the time. I'll say wrong facts or I'll overdub it with my own voice in post-processing. Sometimes I'll get the introduction wrong, like I'll say the wrong time or the wrong temperature. But other than that, I'm generally pretty good about what I say on camera. I mean, there are things that I can do a little bit better, like knowing more about the history of certain things, except instead of saying like, oh, this looks very interesting, or this is a restaurant I haven't tried before, and I want to be able to know, like, to say like, oh, that restaurant's good, you have to order this kind of food, or this is a building from this kind of era. Next question. Oh wait, they still had more questions to ask. I hope I don't answer personal questions like your profession, your politics, etc. The faithful viewers should already know enough about you as far as the general area where you live, your first name, and some of your interests. Yeah, I think that's a good idea to keep my personal information limited. I don't think it's a good idea to keep all my personal information out there on the internet. It's not a good idea to do. How do we get back after you've walked very far? Sometimes I walk back, sometimes I take public transportation, sometimes I get a car service. All depends. You talk a lot about different foods and restaurants. Do you have any favorites, or you just like them all? I have many, many favorites, but I also have a lot that I don't like. But in general, the food in New York City is excellent. If you want to be sure, you have to check out review websites like Yelp, or just ask locals where their favorite places are, and they'll tell you. But I have many, many favorite restaurants. I don't have any particular one. Are there any streets in New York you've never been to, or have you seen them all? Of course, there have been streets I've never been to. This is a big city with obscure streets in like the far reaches of the borough, of different boroughs. Staten Island I haven't visited too much, mainly because there's not enough action there, and plus it takes me a long time to get there as well. But most of Staten Island I haven't even explored yet, as well as like far reaches of the other boroughs that aren't located close to the city center. Next question, is New York really all it's hyped to be and the stereotypes true? I.e., New York is dangerous, it's expensive, it's too popular, it's really ghetto. Well, let me just answer these one at a time. Yes, New York is hyped. This place is amazing. Is New York dangerous? No, it's not dangerous. It's very safe, although there are certain times where it can be dangerous. You just have to be aware of your surroundings at all times. Next question, it's really ghetto. I guess, depending on where you go or who you ask. I mean, this isn't really a term that's well perceived in current society. And slum-like, well, it used to be very slum-like in different parts, but I don't really experience it that much anymore. New York has no morals. I mean, I kind of answered this on the pros and cons video of living in New York City, but I explained it in that video that I said New Yorkers are very direct. They want to do what they want to get done and not bother anyone else. So in that way, it may seem they're rude or they have no morals, but they're actually generally very nice people. But thank you for your questions. Next question is about, they came to my channel because they wanted to see biking in other cities. They just thanking me on my videos, on my cycling videos in rush hour and no narration. Thank you very much. I hope I can do some of those videos soon. Next question, if there are 3 things about New York City you could change, what would they be? Also, how many pairs of walking shoes do you go through in a year? I'll have to think about that. I guess the first one about New York City I could change is the income inequality here. I notice a lot of people in need, and I don't think that's a good thing to be seeing in any part of the world. The next thing I would change is the public transportation system. Desperately needs improvements and more access to other parts of the city as well. And the third thing about New York City I would change, I guess in addition to the public transportation increases, I think I would prefer to see an increase in pedestrian and cycling accessibility, and not so much of a reliance on the car culture that goes through much of the city. I think that would improve a much better quality of life for many people here. So those are the 3 things I would change about New York City. And how many pairs of walking shoes do I go through in a year? I would say 3. I kind of wear down my shoes on one side faster than the other, so when I notice that happening too much, I get a new pair of shoes. Can I do a travel video going to MetLife Stadium? Possibly in the future. Next question, what hotels are within walking distance to Pier 90? And I'll answer this after I replace the battery. Okay, the question was, what hotels are within walking distance to Pier 90? We are cruising with Norwegian. I've never been to NYC. I don't even know where Pier 90 is. Let me look it up. Pier 90. I mean, you could probably do this yourself, typing in hotels near Pier 90. Looks like Pier 90 is near 50th Street. Oh, it's close enough to the Times Square area. There's plenty of hotels there. I think the biggest one is the Hilton, and you can also get the Sheraton there. But yeah, you're very, very near Times Square in that area. That's where all the hotels are. Next question, do you think it will be cool doing NYC videos, but instead of walks, put your camera on the front of your car and drive, so NYC driving? It's kind of hard because I don't own a car. It would be a cool idea, but the expense of operating a car in New York City is very great for me to do that. It would be very cool though, kind of like what Jay Utah does. He does very good videos, just driving around different cities. But it's something I have considered. Next question, where's your favorite place to eat in New Orleans? You can watch my video on the places to eat in New Orleans video. I didn't really have a favorite. They were all so good. Although I probably wouldn't go back to Cafe du Monde just due to the health risks involved with eating that much powdered sugar. That was pretty insane, but it was really tasty though for their beignets. Next question is bike check, question mark. Don't really know how to answer that question. Next question, do you support Mayor de Blasio? Maybe. I don't want to talk politics on this channel. Next question, great idea. Your walking videos are great. Thank you. What kind of bike you have, and are you riding bike for exercise or fun? Both. I have 4 bicycles. I have a Mercier Kilo WT. I have a Priority Continuum Onyx. I have a Gravity 1.0, I think, mountain bike, and I also have a gravel bike. Forgot the name of it already off the top of my head. It's been a while since I rode it. But yeah, I have 4 bicycles. Next question, what's the story behind my videos? Already answered that. Favorite pizza place? I have too many to list, but my favorite one is in Queens. Do you meditate? No, I'm not really a religious person or believe in meditation, but I do like to relax once in a while and sit back and observe what I've been doing. So in a way, that is meditation. What's your favorite thing to do after work? Watching videos and replying to everyone's comments. When will you do another walking tour through Harlem video? It's coming very soon. It's actually already been recorded, and maybe it'll be posted by the time this is finished. But yeah, I do need to spend some more time in Upper Manhattan. Go for it, Nacho Kid. Thank you very much. Next one, is there life on Mars? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not really the one to be asking that question. Another one is, what's the furthest you ever gone in the wrong direction on the subway? Yeah, this is a good question. I have to think about it. I mean, I'm usually pretty good about that. Maybe 5 stops in the wrong direction. Sometimes there's service changes where they require you to transfer to the express track from the local track.
I don't remember it
which
being like pink and rose.
is very much a hassle.
Okay, perfect. So I will resend you
Next question, how can you afford to travel on your free time? What's your secret? Has YouTube ever demonetized one of videos? Well, it doesn't take much to travel in New York City. All you do is just go up and walk someplace, and the subway system is $2.75 a ride. And as well as traveling to other places. When I went to New Orleans, it was very affordable since most people don't want to go to New Orleans in the summertime. They think it's hot and sticky, so the airfare price and the Airbnb rate for that room is very affordable. That's one of the ways you save money, by traveling to a place that no one wants to go to during that time, like New York City in January and February. You get very cheap rates on hotels and airfare at that time. And as YouTube demonetized my videos, yes, they have on different occasions, like my subway fight video between two women that didn't get demonetized, but it got age restricted. My New Yorker swearing compilation, that one got demonetized. Yeah, but not too many get demonetized. I'm usually pretty good about that. I mean, there's some things that I guess the YouTube algorithm flags that automatically yellow icon the video, which means I get limited ads, like my recent cemetery walk that got limited ads, but after a manual review, it was okay. And then also a lot of videos from before about September 11 and the World Trade Center site got demonetized. Just, I guess, the computer just detected the words there in the tags and automatically assumed it's going to be like a conspiracy video or something, so they demonetize it. But after they manual review it, it gets monetized again. Next question is Action Kid a J.W. Don't really know what this is supposed to be, so I guess no. Next question is I wonder how and what got you interested in shooting videos for the public. I answered that already. Is your background in any of the arts? I'm very creative and I have an artistic mind, so I'll just give you that much information. Why did you video in New Orleans, LA recently? I just found it interesting to go down there. I also wanted to see what the reaction was from my audience going down to New Orleans, just to see if I can expand upon this channel to go other places.
Explore other.
And have I ever been to Edinburgh, Scotland? No, I haven't. Sounds like an interesting place though. What are your interests and hobbies? Ready, answer that. Is that black blobs on sidewalk all chewing gum? How come so much? I can't get over it. How funny. Yes, it is chewing gum. It's very disgusting, and I wish people wouldn't spit chewing gum on the sidewalk so it's staining like that. Have you ever been charged for jaywalking? Nope. What does Action Kid do other than being a YouTuber? Ready, answer that. What's the little brown spots in the concrete? Chewing gum. Can I make a video about Stapleton and Park Hill and Staten Island, Wu-Tang? I mean, I guess it could, but I don't think I'll get enough views from it to make the trip worthwhile down there. Where do you live so I can come and stalk you? Not telling you exactly where I live, man. Next question. You are very LGBTQA sensitive. Are you part of the family? Don't be ashamed of being you. We love you. No, I'm not LGBTQA family. I do know that it's very important to be respectful of other people's opinions and beliefs, so that's why I'm very sensitive about what I say on YouTube. and in my personal life as well. Look at this. These NYPD ticket officers are giving away tickets for blocking the box. This is what they do on a daily basis here. Next question. It seems good idea to open the platform where people may participate and interact. Have a successful luck. Thank you very much. I think it's a good idea too. But there's only so much I can be open about my personal life. Hope you can understand that. Do you live Astoria? Yes, I live in Astoria. Would you be so nice and send me one piece of New York Post? I mean, I guess I could. It'll be a cool thing to do for one of my fans. Wow, this is a long question. Can you do a video on cool places to take your kids to play in New York City?
But you should know, like,
Could be an interesting topic. I'll have to do some research on it. There's a lot of playgrounds around here and a lot of different parks and activities for kids here. There's taxi boats that take you from pier to pier. I guess New York water taxi or the New York City ferry. That's the boat system here. So I guess that's what you were referring about, what the name of it was. Can't wait for Paris by night in the rain. Maybe one day. Until then, you could watch one of my favorite YouTubers, Watch Walker. He does a lot of videos in Europe, in London and Paris and Spain in particular. Most nerve-wracking experience in NYC. All those times where I've almost been hit on my bicycle by inches, and I've been threatened in person, and all these kind of things. I've never had a weapon drawn on me, thankfully. But yeah, it can get pretty nerve-wracking sometimes, but you have to keep awareness of where you are at all times and your surroundings. How do I formulate your idea of recording everyday life in New York? I already answered that. I just love this city and I enjoy doing this. The next person's question is visiting the Museum of the City of New York worth it? Yes, it's definitely worth it. It may not be for everybody if you're not interested in New York City history, but it is a very interesting museum and I recommend it for people to visit. Maybe for not the first trip, but if you go to like the Metropolitan Museum of Art, I always recommend everyone to go to that museum first before going to more of the specialized museums. What music do you enjoy? Oh wow. I love all kinds of music. I can listen from everything from country to death metal to rock music, classical. My tastes in music are very, very wide and it just depends on my mood. Do you ever get tired? Yeah, I do. I'm already tired already. This video's been going on for over an hour now. Make a video on the Jamel Mansion in Upper Manhattan. Yeah, I've considered that. I'll have to do some more Upper Manhattan videos, but it is out of the way of the areas where I normally go to on a daily basis. Let's see. How would I move to New York City successfully? Should I purchase an apartment before moving? No, you should not. You should definitely experience living here before you do that. That's not a good idea to do. How much do I need to save so I can live until I find a job? I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do listen to a lot of finance channels and sometimes podcasts. One of my favorite YouTubers is ⁴ᴷ⁶⁷. I think he recommends at least 6 months of monthly expenses before you decide to move somewhere. And that's dependent on the region where you go to also. But you do have to do your own research and find out what works for a lifestyle for you. Some people are comfortable living with other people, some people are not. So you have to weigh those options. Are you from San Francisco? No, I'm a New York City native. Why no Bay Ridge walks? I have a few. I have some from the holidays, and I have another one too, I believe on 5th Avenue when I went. But it's very far from me, that's why I don't do too many. When will you reveal your face? I've already done it. I don't know why you asked that question. We would like to know more about you. Do you work full-time for YouTube? No, I don't work full-time for YouTube. I'm an independent YouTube creator. Next question, ever been to NYC? Huh? I'm doing New York City right now. Strange.
Yes, exactly. You know me. It looks like I like you.
Next question. I've recently found your channel and you recently were in my hometown, New Orleans. How did you like it? I loved it there. The food was amazing. People are great. Despite some early morning incidents on Bourbon Street, I loved that street very much. There was a lot of excitement going on, and I wouldn't let one thing on Bourbon Street in the early morning like scare me from going back. It was wonderful there. But what camera do you use, if you don't mind me asking? I use the GoPro Hero 7 Black. Link will be in the video description below. I'm also getting the GoPro 8 Black. Hopefully it'll be here soon so I can try it. How are you doing, man? I'm doing great. I'm doing great too. Answering all these questions. I know I said it would be a Q&A video where I answer most of your questions, but it seems like I'm getting to all of them today. How about visiting rooftop sites? We're going to DC, which has a great metro and neighborhoods. All a possibility. I am reading a book called 111 Rooftops Not to Miss in New York City, which is very interesting. So hopefully I'll get around to that, as well as DC. Maybe I'll go there as well. Serious question, is it hard to bike in Times Square? Yes, it is. There's a lot of people there and a lot of different traffic, so you do have to be very careful biking through Times Square. And a fun question, how many chickens could kill an elephant? Well, I guess that's all a dependent question, right? If you have a chicken in the wrong place, only one chicken can kill an elephant. What if the chicken was like stuck in the elephant's mouth? Then it'd only take one chicken, right? Next question. I just love to see how you respond to the questions that are being asked. And I love to see the responses to this video as well. Next question. What is the weather like in September, October in New York? Not too humid, around the 50s, 60s. This October was very warm, unusually warm. It's normally not this warm, but I find it very comfortable here in September and October. Does it rain frequently in New York City? Yes and no. It all depends on Mother Nature, but in general, I find it does rain pretty frequently. Next question. How often do you see supercars like a Ferrari or a McLaren in the city? I see them from time to time, not too often. But there are probably more that I don't really recognize too much because I'm not too interested in cars. And wow, I'm up to the last question. So I answered everybody's question in this thread, or the ones that I wanted to answer anyway, besides without revealing too much of myself. Is the last question. You use head strap for cam? No, I use a gimbal with my GoPro. I did a video of it on how I record my video walks not too long ago. But sometimes when I do record on my bicycle, I'll wear it with my GoPro vented helmet strap on my head. So in that way, I'm recording on my head.
Probably have to make a decision.
But yeah, that's the end of this Q&A video, everyone. It was a very, very long video. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already to my channel. And I'll see you all next time.